Caleb, the 2024-25 season about to get underway next week with the fall games. What are your thoughts heading into your junior year?
I am super excited. I can feel it's going to be a big year for us. I'm glad we're going to have a good team with a lot of depth.
Last year, not many guys on the roster compared to this year where you have plenty of, as you said, depth. How will that play in your guys' favor, especially when you have some double headers on back-to-back days?
It'll be nice. I won't have to catch every single inning of every game this year, so that'll be a good break for my knees. And I'll be excited that we'll all be able to contribute in our own way.
As a catcher and a captain, you're one of the biggest leaders on this team. Just talk about your role as a captain, as a leader for especially the younger guys on the roster.
It's really nice having a bunch of the young guys. They definitely have a lot to learn. And I'm going to help out Coach Cole and the rest of our coaching staff in making sure that we help them grow and they can become leaders next year.
Given that you're from Reno, which is on the other end of the United States, how have you adapted to not only the weather in Ohio, but the time change?
Oh, it is very humid here. I come out here and I'm already sweating. I can feel it starting already. But the time change is definitely weird because I'll be calling my parents when they're having lunch and I'm having dinner. It is definitely something to get used to.
Looking at the scrimmage that you guys have today, how will this help you not only get better going into the fall games, but also help you guys bond as a team?
I think some healthy competition is always good. I'm looking forward to seeing the other team have to dye their hair platinum blonde. I'm excited to have a little competition with the other team too, and I think it's good to get us back into the groove after the long summer.
And then finally, next week, it's competitive against Miami Middleton. What are your thoughts heading into that doubleheader?
I think Miami Hamilton is going to not expect a whole lot from us, but we're definitely going to surprise them.
Perfect, thank you.
Of course.
Braden, the 2024-25 season about to get underway with the fall games beginning next week. What are your thoughts heading into your sophomore year?
My thoughts on heading into my sophomore year, I feel like it's going to be a really, really good year. Last year we didn't have much numbers for players, so I feel like this year, since we have actually a full roster, it's going to help us a lot.
Going from a thin roster to having a full slate of guys will definitely give you a breather at times, but how did having to play a lot of baseball last year prepare you stamina-wise for this year?
I feel like it helped us because we couldn't take a day off. It was all day, every day with practices and games, and we had to push through injuries and be able to show up when we needed. So
it's not very often that you see a sophomore be named a captain, but that is the situation that you are in. How did last year prepare you for this role, and is there anything you did in the offseason to further help you get ready?
I feel like last year, with me having a really good year for myself, helped me a lot. I did a lot of time with myself on the tee and off machine work in the offseason that I think prepared me to be able to take this role over.
With a bunch of new guys coming in, the culture could potentially change a little bit from last year to this year. How have you gelled with a lot of the new guys that have joined the team?
I think we've gelled pretty well so far. I mean, a lot of them are coming here to work and play college baseball, and we're all here for the same goal. So I think it's going to be a really good year.
And then finally, it's Miami Middleton next week to get the fall season underway. What are your thoughts heading into that doubleheader?
We had a battle last year, and I know it's going to be a battle this year, especially when we have pitchers now, so they should be ready.
Perfect, thank you. Caden, your freshman year of college as a baseball player about to get underway. What are your thoughts heading into this new chapter?
You know, it's a brand new chapter, and I'm kind of just excited for it. It's something new, you know, something that I thought would never happen. Since a little kid, I've always dreamed about playing at the collegiate level and then maybe one day going pro. And it's just a blessing to be able to just come out here every day and practice and just make sure the field looks good, make sure it's good for my team, and just be happy to be here, really. And just hopefully our team can just have the same way I feel about it.
With you coming from Texas, obviously a slight culture shock given how things are done down there. How have you adapted to Ohio in your time here so far?
You know, I've really just been hanging out with my roommates, Andrew and then B-Main, who you just interviewed, and they're really cool guys. They're fun to be around, you know. They crack some jokes, make me laugh, and just being around the team in general helps me take my mind off of things being away from home. It's definitely far, 19 hours, and, you know, I'll still be able to call home and all that, and it's just fun to be here, especially with Coach. He definitely makes me laugh. He's a funny guy.
And speaking of Coach, he found you from 19 hours away. Just talk about your recruiting process and your eventual commitment.
So I've had I've talked to other coaches before, but I've never really talked to coaches like I talked to Coach Morozek. and I saw him off of Facebook. My dad texted me saying, hey, reach out to this guy. And so my dad reached out to him, I reached out to him, and then next thing you know, we're texting, we have a phone call, I get the offer, and I'm just like, man, this feels like the place. I mean, this coach is really interested in me. He's like not giving up on me like these other coaches and stuff like that. So just being able to see that from a coach is something that really just helped me make the process easier on choosing where to go.
And then finally, next week, it's your debut. It's time. Miami Middleton's up first. Is it more excitement or jitters for you heading into that doubleheader?
Oh, it's really more excitement. I'm not nervous about it. You know, it's just another day at the office. You know, I'm just out there to compete, make sure my team has my back, because I know they do. And I'm just out there to have fun, and I hope my teammates are too.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Andrew, the 2024-25 season about to get underway with the doubleheader next week. What are your thoughts heading into your junior year?
I'm pretty excited about what's going to happen with this team. I think they're really good, and we have a lot of young arms that are going to make us off pretty well during the season, and we're going to really see it this next weekend.
As a captain, going from a team with 12 guys to a full roster, just talk about the transition you guys have had throughout this offseason and how you guys have gelled as a group.
Well, I can tell you right now, it's going to be a lot better. Having a lot more arms as a team. Playing back-to-back games was getting pretty rough. I mean, if you saw me last year, I had an injury in pretty much every single body part throughout the season. So having a lot more arms and bigger teams, we've built a really good relationship so far, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Going from where you're from to here, obviously different time zones, different weather. Just talk about how you've adapted to Ohio in your time here.
Yeah, being from Utah, it's not much different besides the humidity. That's probably what kills me the most, is Utah being so dry. And Ohio, I wake up and there's frost all over the grass, so I kind of hate that part. I kind of learned about waterproof cleats recently, so that's something I didn't need in Utah.
And then finally, it's Miami Middleton this coming weekend. It's a Sunday doubleheader. What are your thoughts heading in, and how can you guys set the tempo for the rest of the year with a big performance in that doubleheader?
Well, as we know, they're a really good hitting team, and I think if we refine our defense, we're going to pay off pretty well with them. We have really good hitting to compete against them in the hitting category. I think our pitching is going to be a really big strong suit that they don't have, so I think we'll perform pretty well, and it's going to be a good opener to see what other teams have against us.
Perfect, thank you. Brenton, it's a new chapter for you in your career, transferring from Otterbein here. What are your thoughts heading into your junior year with a little bit of a new but familiar scenery?
It's definitely exciting. I'm very excited to be with this group of guys. They're a fun bunch to be around, and it's definitely a great change from where I was last year.
You told me before the interview you're from the area. How has the homecoming been for you so far?
It's been great. It's nice getting to go home and have home-cooked meals again and not having to worry about campus food and all of that, so it's very nice. I enjoy it.
Your first 2 years of college with Otterbein, an OAC school. Just talk about what you learned in those 2 years in the OAC that will help prepare you for this new chapter.
I definitely learned a lot of like how to help the younger guys and coaching and leadership and stuff like that. Big thanks to my pitching coach down there. He really helped me with my slide step and everything. So just being quick to the plate and my pickoffs.
With this transferring halfway through your college career, I'm sure some adjustment is in order. Just talk about your transferring process and how Coach Cole got you to come to his program.
So I actually had a buddy who played here last year, and talked to him and was like, hey, I'm thinking about transferring. Do you think I could talk to the coach here? And sure enough, Coach Cole was happy to bring me in, so I was very happy to come here.
And as well, the culture here, slightly different from last year, 12 guys to a big group. How have you gelled with a bunch of the guys who were here last year as part of that group?
It's been fun. It's always fun to hang out with them all and just be around them, and spending the weekends together, always practicing and hanging out after and getting food. It's always great just to be around a group of guys who love the game and care about what you do.
And then finally, your fall debut upcoming this next weekend against Miami Middleton. What are your thoughts heading into that game?
I'm excited to see what we got. We're a great group of guys, and I think we're really going to take it to Miami.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Jeremy, I've seen you play before. I know what you're about, but still, you're a captain here, starting third baseman. What are your thoughts heading into this year, and will we see the big swing continue from your summer season?
Yeah, I hope so. I'm really excited to see what these guys put together this year. This team's very intriguing. to watch play, considering how last year went. A lot of hardships, a lot of heartbreaks, but it just made us stronger as a unit. And since day one of practice, when we started Hell Week, you could see that the whole motto changed. And these guys are here to win it, and I can expect, as I hope everyone else does, that we're going to have a really good year this year.
Going from a team that had 12 players to now a full roster, just talk about how the culture has changed here at KSU Tuscarawas and how you've adapted to those changes.
I'd like to say that it's just a real experience. Like, the best way to put it is these guys are here to win it. Like, where with last year, like, it was a fight to stay healthy. Where this year, we know we got depth. We're here. And this gives Coach Cole so much more options. The arms is the biggest help. And like I said, I can just really see us being pretty good this year. And like, we're going to shock a lot of people, I think.
Going to your summer season, you had a great campaign with Premier and Coach Wisniewski. Just talk about how that helped you improve your mechanics, especially at the plate, as you had a couple of really good games down the stretch.
Yeah, so that really helped me a lot, especially when we got down to the playoff stretch. I believe having some intense at-bats against a couple Division I guys will really help me carry that over into this season as we play some tough teams, especially with having Miami Middletown next weekend. I really believe that, like, if I can carry how I was playing at the end of the summer, I'll be able to help my team out a lot.
And as well with that, you're from Maryland, but your parents made the trip out to Ohio on numerous occasions to see you play. Just talk about the support that they have given you throughout your career and how that really helps you to be the best player and person off the field.
Yeah, it helps me a lot because, you know, my dad started coaching me at a very young age, and my mom was very supportive, making meals for me, doing everything she could. So having a big, good support system was big on my baseball career and helping me get out here and doing the things I love.
And then finally, as you said, it's Miami Middletown this upcoming weekend. What are your thoughts heading into your first game of your junior year?
I think that as long as we stay strong as a unit and we go ready to play, we're going to hand it to them.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Coach Dane, the 2024-25 season about to get underway. What are your thoughts heading into this big year?
This is a new opportunity for me, a new opportunity for a lot of the guys, and right now the camaraderie and the gamesmanship that they all bring to the table is really something I look forward to seeing in real time.
As the outfield coach, what have you seen from your guys out there as of late, and how do you expect to get a lot of guys minutes this year, especially given how deep this roster is?
Great question. We have a lot of depth in the outfield. We've brought in quite a few freshmen, and then we have a couple returners like B-Main, and they're going to have their hands full getting time in the outfield. We've got a lot of good things that we can present in any situation.
On top of your coaching of the outfield, you're in charge of strength and conditioning. Just talk about how the guys have really grown in those two aspects and how your team has gotten stronger in the weight room.
All right, so when their first introduction to me was definitely Hell Week. We put them through the ringer quite a bit, and if you know anything about the season that we've had, it was super hot that week. So we had one guy down about 15 pounds, and we're putting up some big numbers in the weight room. I'd like to develop some of the younger guys and make them bigger, faster, stronger.
And then finally, Miami Middletown, your first test of the new season in the fall. What are your thoughts heading into that doubleheader?
We got a very strong squad. We're pretty deep this year, and I look to make some noise in the USCAA this year.
Perfect, thank you.
Absolutely.
Coach Tad, the new season about to get underway next week with the fall games. What are your thoughts heading into 2024-25?
It's a pretty exciting time right now. You know, we brought in a lot of new freshmen. We're a young team, but we're going to compete, which is a stark difference from last year with a 12-man roster, and then this year with a full roster and a full pitching staff. I'm pretty excited about it.
With that, going from, as you said, 12 guys to a full roster, how have you really gotten to know your players and have been able to help them each get better?
Well, you know, they're really helping themselves, which makes it coaching a lot easier. You know, our kids come in hungry. They're wanting to compete. They're wanting to get on the field, and that lends to coaching. So they're making it really easy on the staff to improve themselves.
And speaking on that, right before the interview, your players, they were chanting your name. They wanted you to get over here for the interview. Just talk about how they have really grown in respect to you and what that means to you as a coach.
Yeah, it's nice to have a close-knit group. You know, we have a lot of fun. We're close. we have a smaller group, so we don't carry huge numbers like a lot of college. So it's more of an intimate family atmosphere, I should say, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. We have fun together. We get to know each other on a personal level, spend a lot of time together. So yeah, it's a good time.
And then finally, next week, Miami Middletown, your first fall games of the season. What are your thoughts heading in, and what should we expect from this group this year?
We should expect a lot of competition. We're going to compete this year. I'm really excited to face other uniforms. You know, we're playing each other right now. We're competing against each other, but I can't wait to see the young guys and the returning guys in action against another university. It's going to be a good time. It's a good time to be a Golden Eagle.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Coach Cole, the new season about to get underway here. Talk about this new chapter of KSU Tuscarawas baseball and how excited you are to begin.
Yeah, very excited. Come in here, whenever I first took the job, was extremely difficult on many aspects. Whenever we first took over the job, it was a returning team of 10. Decided to keep 3 of those guys and build a roster from there. We ended up getting up to, our first year was about 12 guys. And we wanted to put a major emphasis on recruiting, and in doing so, it was pretty much all geared towards our pitching side, and we really wanted to gear things more towards the speed aspect. Very aggressive guy on the bases, and we wanted to up the ante on that part of our game.
And speak on that recruiting as well, from 12 guys to a full roster here. Just talk about how you were able to get so many talented players out here to compete.
Yeah, it's not easy. If you've ever been down to New Philadelphia, Ohio, there's not a lot of selling points besides obviously your education and then the opportunity to play college baseball. We went from 12 to 24 guys in 1 year. No interest at all of being one of these programs that carry 50, 60, 70 guys. We bring you here. We have every intention of you being a part of our future. I mean, my goodness, we have guys now from seven different states. We have one guy that's actually out of the country. He's from the Netherlands. I mean, coaching college athletics, you have to like to recruit. If you don't, college sports is definitely not for you.
And as well with coaching college, you also coach at the travel level. That's where I got my first introduction to you with your Ohio Tigers team. Just talk about how the different aspects of coaching kind of translate not only from the college level down to travel, but also up from travel to college.
Yeah, the biggest thing, so I mean, we have our organization now since 2017. I coach one of the squads on that team. And they're a talented group as well. The biggest thing would be maturity. And don't get me wrong, we have some absolute characters here and we love to have fun. But at the same time, they work their tails off whenever it's time to work hard.
And then finally, Miami Middletown, your first test of the 24-25 season. What are your thoughts heading into that game, and how can you guys make a statement to the rest of the conference of what KSU Tuscarawas will offer this year?
Yeah, I mean, first off, it all starts on pitching. Anything in college baseball, it all starts on the mound. Very excited to see Brenton Billman and Caden Costello on the mound. Guys like Joe Fisher, who missed last year. Jeremy Patchett. I mean, a lot of guys that we're going to have access to this year. It's going to be huge, and we have our returning guys. I mean, last year alone, we hit with 12 guys, which is funny, and our record didn't look that great, but we hit 329 as a team. And I don't care what level of baseball you play, 329 as a team is a heck of a season. And we throw in a lot of arms this year. I expect a lot. Middletown can swing the bats, that's for sure. But we went toe-to-toe with them last year, and we lacked a lot of things. I know that they're going to start out the year ranked, so that's going to be exciting as well. Yeah, it's going to be nice to surprise a lot of people from last year's 12-man roster.
Thank you, Coach, and best of luck this season.
Thank you so much.